I was just thinking that I haven't made a garden video in a while, and things have been really busy in the summer, and I haven't had a chance to show you some of my garden, some of the things I've been doing in the garden. And I thought I would walk around my front garden today and show you what it's looking like mid-August and what's happening in the garden. I had a neighbor interrupt and ask me something about a plant I had, and so I wanted to walk around today and see what's happening in the front garden. The weather has been on and off. It's been hot, it's been cool, it's been raining here and there, but not so much in the last little while. So it's really plants have gone through all kinds of stuff, and really August is dog days of summer. Things are really struggling. Some things are really struggling, some things are really happy. So let's walk and see what's happening in the garden today. I must say that this Perennial Queen of Hearts is just grown massive. It is huge, and I think next year I may have to divide it because it's really big and beautiful. But after next season, I think I will have to divide these. They are gorgeous, they're huge, and they're beautiful. Annual salvias are blooming, and these will take me right through frost, and I know it's going to look really beautiful all the way through. I have lots of roses. There's been some Japanese beetles, but roses are starting to flush again. This is Moody Blue. Lilies are done flowering now, so the stalks need to be cut back. But Lithodora has filled in so nicely here, and I think it might bloom again in the garden. Some roses are developing black spot from all the weather. As you can see, this is Shropshire Lad, but lots and lots of new growth on this, and it's really reached about 12 feet tall already, so it's going to cover this arbor really nicely. It does have some new blooms on it, so it's been flushing some blooms, but nothing like the first flush that it gives you. Lots and lots of roses here starting to bloom. I do have a lot of black spot I noticed on the white roses. This is Rosa Marie, and I have Tranquility on the other side too, so they are really bad for black spot, and I am debating if I should move these somewhere else in the garden next year. So these are on my watch list. I kind of want to put something a little bit more disease resistant right in the front, because it starts to become a little bit of an eyesore. So I think these will get moved in the backyard next year, and I will find something, maybe a Cordes rose for the front yard here. So looking great. Gaillardia is looking great. I am loving these little lime hydrangeas in bloom, and the color change that they are going through. It has this lime and cream and pink, and it's just really plays well with the other colors and softens them really nicely. I do have lots and lots of other blooms here. Zinnias have started to bloom, and they are absolutely stunning. Love these zinnias. I also have Atlas Rose, which has been blooming on and off, and I haven't really deadheaded it, so it looks a little straggly, but it's supposed to keep blooming even though you don't deadhead it, so I love it anyways. And then Quickfire Hydrangea Standard has changed, a really lovely dusty rose kind of pink color with little bronze in it, and I love how this looks, and it's only going to get better as fall is here, and it's going to look great. So here's another zinnia that has opened, and it's really pretty as well. Look at this orange color, isn't that gorgeous? Love how it's looking. I do also have annual salvias that are starting to pick up and look really nice. Lots of cosmos is blooming as well here. I love the color on this one. I think this is Rubenza, but it's gorgeous. I also have another zinnia here, which is this beautiful coral color, and lots of sedums are starting to color up now, so they should start blooming now, end of August, and it's gonna be gorgeous. Here's another zinnia which is looking great. I love how this one has the two-tone colors. I love it. I love zinnias. And lots of purple alyssum here. Coneflowers are still blooming. They are really workhorses of the summer. I have to come out and deadhead a few, but they are looking great. I have more cosmos here that is getting ready to bloom. This should bloom soon as well, and I think they are this delicate pink color, which is going to look really nice and complementary to all the colors that are here. Lots of Verbena bonariensis blooming. This has self-seeded from my garden. I had a few plants on the other side, but I'm letting it grow wherever it's growing because it's such an airy plant that it really doesn't interfere with anything at the base. It's got this spiky height and visual interest, and I love how this looks in the garden. As you can see here, is just kind of self-seeded on the edge of this bed, and it's looking really, really nice. Salvia is starting to bloom a little bit here as well, but not so much as the spring flush, but it's still looking good. Lots of flowers on the knockout, also easy roses, and my geranium here this year is really climbing on all the roses and doing its thing. It almost looks like a shrub. It's not supposed to be this tall and supposed to be low to the ground, but it is at least climbing over all of these roses and looking really, really pretty, and it's going to bloom all the way till frost. So I love that about it. Liatris is kind of done blooming. I should have supported it better, but it's kind of fallen off to the ground. So I think at some point after the bees are done enjoying all these blooms, I'm going to cut it back, but for now it looks okay. And then this is the red larkspur, which is really pretty as well. It's kind of done blooming all the way up its stalk. This is Prince Charming Buddleia, which is really pretty, really pretty. Love the color on it. As you can see, it's really gorgeous. It's really vibrant and looks amazing in the garden. So let's see what this health strip garden is doing. So this is my little garden patch that I started a few weeks ago, and it's really, really settled and it's doing good. All my it's like my kitchen sink. All the plants that are overgrown in other spots, extras, everything is gone in here, and I love how this is turning out to be. Like, this will reach its full potential. I wouldn't say full potential, but really whatever is in here will show itself more next year, and I can't wait for that. But what I'm most excited is about these 3 blushing knockout roses that I planted in the center. They've put on quite a lot of growth, and I want to see them bloom. I think they will bloom this year, and it's going to look really pretty. So at least I'll get a sense of the colors in here as well. So lots and lots of plants will change in here, and it's going to look really, really nice. Lots of little starts that I added of Rudbeckia are starting to bloom as well, so that's looking really nice. I have a Buddleia here that is also blooming, and then I added Lambsia from another section of the garden. I added some lavender, which was not doing so well and dying in other spots, just to see if it's going to come back here. So like I said, this is a little bit of a spot where I'm trying. I added some iris from another section of the garden because I divided it recently, and if you haven't divided your iris, now is the time to do it, so that you can spread the love in other parts of your garden. So I did add some iris here and there, and just to kind of spread it across my garden. So this bed will really come into life next year when everything comes back after hibernating, and then we'll see how this turns out to be. So this is going to be gorgeous. So let's walk over now to the other side of the garden and see what's happening here. So here as well, roses are flushing back, looking really, really pretty. And I do have Quickfire Fab Hydrangea, which is also changing color. As you can see, it's quite a conical shape compared to the other Quickfire, but it's really beautiful, and it's really getting big in that spot. So I might be a little tight on space there, but I will prune it to how I want it to be in there. So what's exciting is I did make some changes in the back here recently, because I did lose a couple of boxwoods in there. I did get boxwood moth damage, and my two boxwoods in the back there were completely destroyed. So I dug it out, and I've had the opportunity to add some grasses. So I added a morning light Miscanthus in the back there. That's the one that is like a fountain effect. So this one is going to get quite a bit larger than that once it matures. It gets about 5 feet tall, 5 to 6 feet sometimes. And with the plumes, it's going to have a nice effect. And then I also added a standing ovation blue stem, little blue stem. So this is a much shorter one. It gets about 3 feet tall, and then with its flowers, it could get about 4 feet tall, 4 to 5 feet tall. So it's a nice complement. I like the airiness the grasses are offering, and I love the bold texture of the Macrophylla hydrangea compared to against it. This was really lost with all the boxwoods. It was being blocked, but now I can see it, and it absolutely looks beautiful there. And I have a dwarf burning bush in the back there. This is something that, you know, has moved around from different spots in my garden, and I kind of tucked it in this corner here. I don't know how much sun it's going to receive for coloring up, but it's okay for now. I'm going to use it till I find something else that I want to put there. But I had it, you know, in a pot, and I've been lugging it around, so I planted it there. But I like it for now, and we'll see what it does. And then what I did was I added a couple of hardy hibiscus. These are the perfect storm hardy hibiscus. They have a beautiful color in the leaf. It's a nice contrast. So the leaves are a little bit more of a burgundy and green color. So the flowers themselves are going to be a beautiful white, pink, light pink flowers with a nice red center. So I'm excited about those. I also moved around some of my daylilies. I brought them a little bit forward. So yeah, those are the edits in this back garden bed. And I also added the burning heart false sunflowers here as well, so they add a nice pop of color in the back. So and then this boxwood was also quite dead and damaged, so I did prune the base of it. That gave me a little bit more space at the base, so that's something I have also done. So I'm on the watch for this one. If this one gets eaten by the moth, then this one is getting out as well. But for now, this looks okay, so I'm gonna leave it. So yeah, so that's the edit in this section of the garden. So I am really done with boxwoods. Like, they are so old and mature in my garden. I love them, but I'm not willing to fight them every year with spraying and all of that stuff. I don't want to get into that. So there's always nicer, not nicer, but just as nice plants that you can add, and you can just enjoy those. So if that happens and they succumb to it, then I will get rid of it. But for now, this one is healthy, so I'll leave it. So that's the change on that part of the garden. But here, things are still looking good. I have echinacea blooming. I have this variegated sedum. I'm looking forward to seeing this bloom. And I cut back a lot of the yarrow, so I don't know if it's going to flush back again or not, but at least it looks cleaner and neater, because the moonshine yarrow flower heads were turning really brown, and they were looking almost like they were dead. It wasn't even a nice brown, so I was hoping that it's going to flush back, and then once it ages in the fall, I will just leave the flower heads then. But I don't know if it's going to flower again, but it is starting to flower a little bit, so we'll see what it does. And then lots and lots of, you know, this area has become a real mess here, but I love it. It's a messy, beautiful, like, wild area, which I absolutely love. I love the little zebra grass in the back of the Japanese maple. This Japanese maple looks really nice, and I love how this agastaki is interwoven with this Japanese maple, and it really picks up on the same color tones. And then I have the firelight hydrangea in the back, which is coloring up and looking beautiful, just adding the same tones. And then it's picked up by this this is the night glow d'Urvilla, which has those similar tones and green in it. And then there's a riot of color in the front here. There is gaillardia, There is a lot of Agastaki, perennial annual salvia. This Veronica has to be cut back, but yeah, so it's looking really good. I do have a lot of rabbit damage in the garden. I have some rabbit babies going around eating a lot of my plants. It's frustrating, but there isn't much I can do about it. I really don't want to harm them, so I've just left them. But as you can see, I do have damage. This is my helenium, which is completely destroyed by the rabbits. But I have put some eggshells and just natural stuff around it just to see if it's going to work, but we'll see. But I'm enjoying what is actually blooming. I have cosmos there, I have verbena bonariensis there that's blooming, and then there is a riot of color here. So lots and lots of color. Look at this buddleia. This is gorgeous. This is the Puxter, I think it's the purple one, which is really, really pretty as well. The color is gorgeous. And then I do have blue boa hyssop, which is also looking really, really pretty. Lots and lots of color with all these geraniums or pelargoniums, and they are looking great. More blooms. This is the South Africa Sunbelt Rose. It's flushing out blooms. It's such a gorgeous color. And then my hot cocoa rose is also blooming. And then my quickfire is also changed color there. And lots and lots of blooms on the buddleia as well in the back here. This is Miss Violet. And let me zoom in and show you this beautiful, beautiful hibiscus. I think this is the evening rose, a hardy hibiscus. Isn't that such a gorgeous color? Love how this looks and is looking. Let me see if I can walk over on the other side and show you up close. This is my borage patch, which is kind of wild and messy, but I love it. Some Rudbeckia blooming in there, but I really wanted to get up close to this beautiful, beautiful... I just saw a rabbit. It was sitting right here and now it's gone. And so look at this beautiful flower. Isn't that gorgeous? So yeah, so this is what the garden is looking like today. Just absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful morning. It's cool and it's colorful with the garden treasures, and it's looking really, really nice. Let me walk over and give you one look of the driveway garden as well, what it's doing, and how it's looking. But here it is. This is the garden, front garden, mid-August 2023. And oh, the serendipity alliums are looking divine as well. Just gorgeous. I love this plant, and I want to add more of this in my garden. I might divide it and spread this love other places in the garden. I kind of want to add a couple on this side as well. But yeah, my euphorbia bonfire has been completely chewed by the rabbits. I don't know why they're eating it, but they ate it. I think it's supposed to be toxic for them too, but I don't know how and why they're eating, but they're still walking around and look okay to me. So yeah, let's walk and show you the driveway garden. The garden is looking really, really pretty. It's a riot of color. This is also such a mishmash of plants that I just added in this spot, but I love how this has turned out. I love the sedum is going to come into bloom. It's going to look great with this cabiosa. I have the balloon flower there. I have lots and lots of pink echinacea here. And I'm excited about this Wine and Roses standard. It's looking really good. It adds to all of these colors here. And then I do have beautiful, beautiful hydrangea here, which is coloring up as well, looking divine. I don't know the name on this hydrangea. It's one of my oldest hydrangeas, and this is before I knew that I should remember the names of these things. But it's a panicle hydrangea, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. It gets really nice enormous blooms, and it looks really, really pretty in the garden. And here is my blue chiffon rose of Sharon. It has been blooming its heart out all summer, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous. It's at least 12 feet tall, and it's really, really impressive and massive in the garden. I actually had to support it because these stems were so laden with blooms and that they were falling apart. So I had to tie it back and give it some support. But it's gorgeous and I'm loving it. So on that note, I'm ending this video, and I hope you enjoyed this little walk in my front garden this morning. And I hope you guys are all having a fabulous gardening day wherever you're joining me from, and I shall catch you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching.